Yesterday at 8:03 p.m., I received an email from the University of Colorado Boulder with the subject line reading, "Run, hide, fight." That struck me as odd, but I assumed it was just sent in error. Sometimes these systems are bugged. So then an hour later, I received another email that said, "CU Alert 2, Update and Clarification." The email reads, "We are asking people to avoid the Hill, which is where the fraternities are, until further notice. Boulder police are responding to a large party in the area of 10th and Pennsylvania. People in the area could be subject to arrest and CU sanctions." Now at this point, my interest was piqued. I knew it wasn't simply an error, and I knew that small-scale parties rarely required emails sent to the student body. So I did some investigating. I learned that there were upwards of 800 students on the Hill, partying in the middle of a global pandemic. Now this might be bad enough, but I can't say it's unexpected. What was truly unexpected was the retaliation to being broken up. There were videos released of police officers being chased down the block by hundreds of students. Fire trucks having rocks thrown at them as they drove by. SWAT officials having bricks thrown at them. Fortunately, no one was severely injured. And there was video that started to spread around 9:30 in the evening of someone's car being destroyed and flipped over. Now, when I saw this, I was seriously dumbfounded, because this is not the insurrection of the Capitol. This is simply the Hill, the fraternities and sororities of a large public university. So as a CU student, what do I think about this? Well, first and foremost, it's idiotic. A lot of people will claim that it's their right to breathe on one another if they so choose, to party, to express themselves. It's a free country, and fair enough. But I think back to the adage of having the movement to swing your fist until it hits someone else's face. Then you lose your right to move your fist. You have the right to meet with friends, gather outdoors, and do what you would like, up until the point where it becomes a threat to the well-being of those around us, particularly elders and immunocompromised individuals. But that's really not the interesting part. Most sound people can agree this was an egregious act. It was embarrassing to the school. The chancellor has come out and said there's going to be suspensions, penalties, fines, and potentially arrests through the Boulder Police Department. Great, you love to hear that. But the more interesting question is, who is really to blame here? It's easy to say that the students are to blame. Of course, the students had actions, and those actions have consequences. And yes, that's entirely true. But there is a bigger problem at play. First and foremost, why do these students find it okay to act in such a manner? They think it's fine out of entitlement. I suspect there would be a large correlation between the students who have their housing paid for, their tuition paid for, their books paid for by their parents, and those who attended this party. Just a guess. And if that's the case, that tells a story. A story of how entitlement has negative repercussions. Because it wouldn't be complicated. And just so you know, this is unacceptable. I'm no longer paying for your college. I'm not paying for your fraternity. You have to buy your own gas and buy your own textbooks. Now what happens? Either these students drop out and go build character in the workforce, or they get a job and continue their education with no time for parties such as this. Easy fix. But it's the parents' duty to tell children that actions have consequences, and this is clearly not being done. Secondly, the city of Boulder and the University of Colorado Boulder have seemingly failed at preventing this kind of conduct. We have seen parties on the Hill since the very beginning of this pandemic. It's not complicated. A bunch of people meet together, you have a virus spread. What happens? People get sick. We had major gatherings in October during Halloween. And now, a year into a global pandemic, we're having this exact same issue. So either we mean what we say, and we say what we mean, and you hold people accountable, you suspend students at a rate that has never been seen before because it's never been needed, or we remain laissez-faire and we let the students run themselves. We don't hold people accountable, and this continues to happen. It's that simple.